What if the Earth was actually flat? A logistics nightmare. Not sort of round, but you never notice. Not a little bumpy here and there. I mean, pancake flat, cosmic pizza style, frisbee of destiny. The short answer is, it would be an absolute logistical disaster. Let's start with travel. On our round Earth, flights curve gently across the globe. On a flat Earth, airlines would be confused. Maps suddenly make sense, but flight paths don't. Flying from New York to Tokyo? Instead of a smooth arc, your plane would either skim dangerously close to the edge or take the long scenic route around a flat cardboard circle. Air traffic controllers would look like chess players staring at a board that keeps tilting. The phrase, direct flight, would become a cruel joke. Then comes gravity. On round Earth, gravity politely pulls you to the center. On a flat Earth, gravity has no idea what it's doing. People near the middle would feel normal, but the further you go toward the edges, the stronger the pull sideways gets. Walking your dog near the edge? Congratulations, you're now hiking at a 45-degree angle, clinging to the sidewalk while Rex wonders why trees grow diagonally. Building houses there would be a nightmare. Tilted foundations, slanted walls, and furniture that slowly slides out the door when you're not looking. Now let's talk about oceans. On round Earth, water politely sticks to the sphere. On flat Earth, it desperately wants to pour off the sides like soup from a tipped bowl. Enter the International Edge Guard Committee, a fictional army of very nervous people whose full-time job is keeping the oceans from spilling into the void. Giant ice walls, mega dams, do not cross signs. It's a nightmare. Cruise ships would offer edge tours, where tourists lean over railings to take selfies while panicked guards scream, "Please step back. It's infinite nothingness out there." And what about satellites? Currently, they orbit neatly around a globe. On flat Earth, orbit is canceled. GPS becomes useless. Google Maps turns into good luck maps. Weather forecasts? Forget it. Meteorologists would just shrug and say, maybe bring a jacket, or an umbrella, or both. Space agencies would have to admit their rockets just keep smashing into a giant ceiling labeled "Do Not Disturb." Astronauts would unionize out of boredom. Daily life would also get messy. Imagine mail delivery on a flat Earth. The Postal Service already struggles with 3-day shipping. Now, they'd need to cross an endless pancake where shortest distance means running straight into the edge. Logistics companies would panic. Warehouses pile up with boxes marked, "Address near corner of the Earth." Amazon Prime would quietly update its policy. Delivery guaranteed in 2 to 3 decades. And of course, politics would get weird. Edge nations would argue over who maintains the Great Wall of Water. Central nations would brag about their perfectly upright buildings while mocking edge dwellers for living diagonally. International treaties would involve phrases like "no shoving things off the edge" and "shared responsibility for ocean leakage." You think the United Nations is complicated now? Wait until the Flat Earth UN starts voting on whether to install giant cup holders around the rim. Culturally, humans would adapt in hilarious ways. Theme parks would build roller coasters that fling you toward the horizon before snapping you back. Extreme sports would feature edge diving competitions. Restaurants would advertise edge-to-table dining. Musicians would release albums titled "Songs from the Rim." Instagram would be flooded with hashtags like "living on the edge," except now it's literal. Science would also face a crisis. Physics textbooks get rewritten with doodles of pancakes and arrows pointing in odd directions. Teachers explaining centrifugal force would break into tears. Engineers building bridges would quit halfway through, saying, "Look, we're trying to balance a skyscraper on a plate here." And don't even get me started on maps. Cartographers would throw the biggest party in history, finally free from trying to wrap continents onto a sphere. So, would a flat Earth be easier? Absolutely not. Everything we take for granted, gravity, travel, weather, even where your coffee sits on your desk, would turn into a daily struggle. Sure, the sunsets might look dramatic when the sun skims across the plate like a lazy spotlight, but the cost of keeping oceans, planes, and dogs in line would outweigh the view. In the end, the Earth is round not because it's convenient, but because it works. A flat Earth might sound simple, but in practice, it's a logistical nightmare of sideways gravity, lost packages, and endless ocean management. And if you lived on the edge, well, let's just say you'd be in very big trouble with the International Edge Guard Committee.